We are going live. And hello, everybody. Oh, that's wonderful. So I just popped open Facebook to kind of monitor what's going on, and everyone sends me porn all day, like in Facebook Messenger, and like I'm like, hey guys, I'm trying to monitor the taxation and theft feed, and porn keeps popping up. Okay.
Damn! I wish I had your inbox.
You want to manage my account for me?
All I get is death threats.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started. I think we're streaming. If anyone can confirm that just by giving me a thumbs up and a comment. We've got Clayton Hunt here. High quality video mode has been deactivated because Facebook sucks. Okay. Clayton Hunt, he's running for the Texas House of Representatives as a Libertarian, as the most Libertarian, because that's how he rolls.
The only true Libertarian.
The only true Libertarian. Which we've kind of butted. All right, well, oh, shit. So I don't know how well this live stream is going to go. It's supposed to be working better. It just cut out. And I don't know if it's like picking up on the same stream or if everyone has to tune into a different stream now. But hopefully it'll keep going, and we'll see how it goes.
And a lot of this comes from, really, my opponent hasn't had a general election challenger in about a decade. And ever since she's taken the office, she's had one primary challenger that got like 14%. And since 2012, it's been her in the general election, and your choice is you vote for her or you just skip that race. I was actually part of the Cory Watkins for Texas team, and one of the things that they were talking about is, support, after they won the general election, won the nomination to go into the general election, they needed to support down-ticket candidates. They needed to make sure that there were some good down-ticket candidates they could work with. I stepped up, said, sure, why not? There had been a joke, Clayton Hunt for everything, before then. And I switched it over to House District 145, and I've been running ever since.
Awesome. So I have to ask you this because you're like a pretty big activist. You're always out there. You're always saying really bad things about the government, and I have to ask you, what's your beef with the government, man? Why can't we all just get along?
Well, we all can't just get a bong. Why? Because the government. So we can't get along if we can't get a bong. My deal is I like people. I think people are generally good, and I think that government represents the enabling of the few bad apples. I think that the term bad apples, the few bad apples, that's very true when you're talking about human, just societies. There's a few assholes, but most people are generally good. I think government represents a tool for those few assholes, for those few, people that kind of want to run everyone's lives, want to control, want to, do terrible things. It represents their empowerment, their tool, how they do those terrible things on a massive scale. Would a bunch of little had us.
Oops, I think we're
not really power.
I think I lost you a little bit there, but
yeah, too much of a truth bomb.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I've been getting zucked all week, and it's weird because so at first I thought so let's see, like what's kind of what's your history, like how did you get into the Libertarian Party?
Okay, so I was actually kind of going over this a little bit earlier today because there's this local like Republican commentators called Big Jolly Politics, and they had some disjointed rant from someone on the Republican Party Executive Committee for the state blaming the Libertarian Party for something or other. It was when I was younger, I remember
and again, I got a lot of my politics very young from talk radio. So, we're Limbaugh when I'm like in elementary school. So, like when I was fifth grade, there was actually this case where Sheila Jackson Lee, who is still in office, by the way, came to our school because there's a camera. There's Sheila Jackson Lee. She's going to be there. And she was giving a speech about, if it was only like, we only had like $80 billion, we just redo all the schools in HSD just like this. And little 12-year-old, it was probably like 11-year-old Clayton was sitting there going, oh yeah, $80 billion. That's pocket change. That's my lunch money. Like, come here, let me give that to you. I'll just take it. And that someone was going to be taxpayers. And, so it's kind of, especially on like the fiscal side, I kind of was there already. Once I started really thinking for myself, I kind of didn't really get that involved when I was in middle school, but once I got to high school, that was when like the Tea Party was starting. And this is the original. You're here, go read Ayn Rand. And because I love reading, I always have loved reading, and there was a 1,000-long page, novel. I was like, I'll take that challenge. And I think that summer I read Ayn Rand, and that kind of put me down that path. Then, the next year I discovered Ron Paul. I watched there was a documentary about his '08 run that I started watching, and I was like, wow, that seems pretty interesting. I read The Revolution Manifesto, I read The End of the Fed, and I looked at the end of those books, and they always had a reading list. Now that you've read this, you like this, here's where I got these ideas. Here's like the beginner list, here's the intermediate list, here's the advanced list, and I sat down and I started reading. And I read For a New Liberty, and, ideologically I was there. When it comes to this is, when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about when I'm in high school. Ron Paul 2012, I actually was with the Republicans for Ron Paul only. I went to the state convention in Texas, and I was totally disillusioned because, I was thinking, I'm a delegate. I'm going to have a say in the process. And I got there, and they were like, okay, now here's when you clap, and now here's when you sit down, here's when you're silent, we've already figured all of this out. We've got all the rules figured out. It's all been taken care of. There's been deals made. You're just here for the show. And after that, I was kind of like, damn, why did I even do this? What was the point of doing this? And then I went, who I had known through, some of my activism up to then, she was doing a big push to get former Ron Paulers that were disillusioned by the whole process to jump ship to the LP. I came over with that wave, and I've been here ever since.
Awesome. So I can share some of that story with you. Like, I mean, I know I kind of found Ron Paul, and that took me into like the Tea Party, the original Tea Party that was basically fuck the. Sorry guys, so we're trying a new app. We're trying a new app to do this broadcast, and it keeps giving me these alerts that the feed's dropping. So if someone can just comment and say, like, just let me know if it looks more or less okay on your end, if it's just a little skippy, or if it's like unbearable as me now. That's why it explains it all.
Well, so a fun fact, actually, when I was at the Tea Parties, and they had them in Houston at Discovery Green, and I actually met Guy McClendon, who was the previous Harris County Libertarian Party chair there, and I know places. I think he's in Louisiana now. I know he's on the LNC, but our current chair probably wouldn't do that. Well, she probably would for Tea Parties.
So, I'm getting some messages back that, this stream is kind of a pain in the ass. let's do this, guys.
Sorry.
I'm gonna try to switch my network and see if this. Sorry, man. This is okay. We're back, guys. It's I don't know what's going on, man. The FBI is in my system. I'm ready to fucking take this thing outside yeah.
Government knows.
I'm probably lucky we're not doing this sitting next to each other, because I would take your gun right now and just shoot my laptop. Like, this thing's making me go crazy. Anyway, guys. Okay, so we had some. I made a post earlier, and we were trying to get some good questions to ask you. So let's get into that. On a scale of 1 to infinity, how libertarian are you?
Infinity +1.
So just
Actually, I would say infinity times infinity plus infinity.
Okay, so still a little bit less than me, because I'm infinity to the power of infinity, which is a little bit higher. So, okay, but you're close. You're still way up there. You're pretty good. Okay, we've got some fill in the blank questions to see how libertarian you actually are. The IRS can blank.
Go fuck themselves.
Good. That's probably exactly what I would have said. How about taxation is the blank we pay to blank?
Price we pay for not establishing a civilized society.
Ah, okay. Well played. Okay, so now let's actually talk about your fundraiser. You said you're going to do some pretty crazy things to raise some money for your campaign. Give me this list again, because I only remember a couple of them.
All right, so the original working title was Clayton Hunt Will Do Anything for Liberty, but we decided Clayton Hunt Loves Liberty. Basically, if I reach $500, I'm going to do an hour-long Facebook Live AMA in full Juggalo face paint. If I reach $1,000, I'm going to go down to the Harris County Courthouse and have over 7 dildos, because in Texas, it is still a law on the books that if you have more than 6 dildos, you are committing a misdemeanor. I think it's a Class C misdemeanor. And the idea is we're going to go down there, do a little civil disobedience with 7 or more dildos. If I reach $2,500, I'm going to go down to the State House and allow people to make me into a human taco in order to show that we much prefer tacos than Trump. Tacos, not Trump.
Okay.
If I reach $4,000, I'm going to make out with James Weeks. The naked libertarian dancing guy. Yeah. Make out with him.
So has he agreed to that? Does he know he's in for that?
Yes. I did. I'm a libertarian. I asked consent first.
All right.
If I reach $5,000, I'm going to get, I know this logo is kind of small, but my Statue of Liberty with an AK, I'm going to get that tattooed on me. Not sure where. I've said not the face, but other than that, anywhere it goes. And if we raise over that, we'll come up with some more stretch goals. Yeah.
So I got to ask you this. Because you're a big dude with a beard, and so is James Weeks, and when 2 dudes make out with beards, is it true that their beards can lock?
We have touched beards before. We haven't made out. We've touched beard to beard. Really wasn't much locking. Maybe it's a make-out thing, not just a touch. We'll find out.
All right.
Hey, give me $4,000 and we'll find out.
So where's actually while we're on this topic. Joey's asking, what are we raising money for? So we're raising money for Clayton's campaign to run for the Texas House. Where can they go donate? since we have everybody watching right now.
ClaytonHuntLibertarian.com. We've got an Anodot thing, so if you go to my page, you can go through Anodot if you want to give like a not preset donation. But if you go to ClaytonHuntLibertarian.com, you've got like $5, $25, up to like $500 you can give. If you want to give like $4.20, you'd have to go through Anodot. We actually have had someone give that.
That's why are you lowballing it? So if you want to do $4.20, it's got to be $420.
Yeah, I know. Give $420, or $69.
That's a good number. So go to it's ClaytonHuntLibertarian.com, and go make some donations. So I want to ask you this other one. What exactly is this law as it pertains to dildos? Is it specifically just dildos? Are vibrators and butt plugs in that same category?
They are. So basically, it's obscene objects.
Well, I mean,
which is sex toys, basically.
I mean, you could peel a banana and that can be an obscene object. I mean, is it really that vague?
So it's one of those things where it's not really enforced, but it's one of those stupid laws still on the books. You read those lists and it's got like all the stupid laws that are on the books.
Right, like you can't walk
bathe
with
a grizzly bear in a bathtub in Alaska. No one's enforcing that law.
I think Texas still has
it, but it's.
You can't walk around with an ice cream in your back pocket, right?
I know we can't sell liverwurst on Sunday. It's still in the law.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that's
if
one
you're selling liverwurst, you're not going to church.
I guess that's one of those dry state laws, or blue laws, right?
Yeah, we still have lots of blue laws.
Okay, so now I guess you said you're going to go to the Capitol and you're going to turn yourself into a taco. So that begs the question: if you were a taco, what kind of taco would you be?
I would like to say I would be a Cool Ranch Doritos Locos taco.
All right. I haven't had Cool Ranch in a long time.
It's pretty damn good. I mean, it's a damn good taco.
I don't think I've ever.
It's not like real taco, but.
Oh, because I was gonna say. Well, no, wait. Didn't Taco Bell start doing something like that with they had like a Dorito taco?
Yeah. They've got their Doritos taco. It's like the regular cheese, but they have the Cool Ranch Doritos taco, and that's the taco I would be.
Okay, cool. So awesome. Okay, so let's talk about when you get elected. So you're gonna win this election, and what's gonna happen? You're gonna. I mean, well, let me ask you this. You're an intelligent person, right? Oh, I think I lost you. You there? I think that's Clayton's connection this time. Are there any black helicopters out there? I think we're losing you.
We're going to shoot down some black helicopters.
All right, I think you're back. Can you hear me? Nope, So Clayton lives way out in the woods. I think that's where I picture him, and that's kind of what's behind. I think that's a window to his backyard behind him.
I think my grandmother did, actually.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's a pretty good artist.
I mean, it looks real. Now I lost my train of thought. Okay, so I get elected. You're a pretty intelligent person, right?
I like to think so.
So what makes you think that you're qualified for this job that you're applying for?
Is anyone qualified for the job I'm applying for? I don't think anyone is.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my point. I mean, intelligence is kind of like I don't think you're allowed to take that into Congress with you. I think we're losing him again. Yeah, Robert.
There's like there's procedure. Oh.
Yeah, okay. Now you're back. Sorry, we didn't hear anything you just said. And now we lost you again. This time it's all his fault. It's not mine this time, I swear. Well, you're cutting in and out. You're cutting in and out. Can you go stand by a window? I don't know if anyone who watches this show watches Silicon Valley. There was a scene in like the first season where they were a tech company. It was like this. They were making fun of Google, this like fake Google company, and they invented this new holographic communication system, and it was like the connection was as bad as this one. And they were just making fun of, a multi-billion-dollar company, and they still get shitty connection. All right, you're back. We can see you again.
All right. So I think where I was going, that's why we don't really understand politicians, and it's just because we can't see from their perspective because we can't get our head that far for our own ass.
That's probably fair. Although
I'm going to try to resist the procedure, though.
And that's actually an interesting question because, you see on a serious note, you see people getting elected, and the first thing that they do, depending on what level you're elected at, is the CIA comes to you and they hook you up to a lie detector. And I think it was Jesse Ventura who was pretty open about this whole process because he's as a governor he went through that process and he was pretty open about speaking out about it. And basically saying the CIA came in and asked him all these questions and are you on our side or do we have to take care of you? And that was pretty interesting to see. And like I just have this, I guess like with state houses, there's probably too many people going in there for them to do that to everybody. But yeah, that's an interesting question. Like, do they have like on your first day, do they tell you, oh here's orientation day. We're going to teach you how this whole thing works, and then you have to like, you have to slit the lamb's throat and drink its blood from a skull, and now you're part of the club.
So have you ever heard of Trevor Moore?
No.
He's like a comedian. He does like a bunch of different he was on Whitest Kids You Know. He actually did a comedy special on Comedy Central, and one of the promo commercials was him as meeting with the execs like yeah, we're really excited for your deal, but you kind of have to meet the higher ups. And then they go in, it's the Illuminati, and they're like, okay, well we're going to need you to have we're going to need to record you with an indecent act with a minor. And he was like, can I supply that, or no, we're gonna do that one in house. We're gonna need a suicide note in your handwriting just in case you try to slip on out. And he's like, I think I might have one in my bag. I'm kind of a pack rat like that. I imagine it might be something like that. Maybe. That'd be interesting.
I could see that. I mean, it's because there really are some weird people out there, and because here's the thing, right?
In government,
right? And because you have all these weird people that come out, and they end up being like pedophiles and sex traffickers, and then like half of them are like in government or some public figure in the community. They're like some big business owner or they're on the city council and
cops.
Yeah, and it's like no, all they do is beat their wives. But it's like you have and shoot your dog.
Not all they do.
Yeah, it's but you have and everyone thinks these people. Oh, I never expected that from this person. They were such an upstanding citizen and everything. So it's like it's so weird. Like how are these people able to hide it so well? And it's got to be some like systemic community type thing going on. But we'll see. I'm not gonna go too far into any conspiracy theories on that. But it's definitely going to be interesting because there are a lot of nuts in Congress, state and federal, that think they know how to run your life better than you do. So it's an interesting call. So now, what do you plan on doing once you're in there? Do you have any like special legislation that you want to go after? Is there anything you want to attack first?
So I think first things first, I kind of want to go after constitutional carry. I think that the Republican Party has been kind of like, for especially for the gun rights community, it's been kind of like they're sitting there reeling it in. Here's your bait. Support the GOP. We'll give you constitutional carry. Oh, almost had it. They've been doing that one for years, and I think it's time to just grab the bait and just throw it to the people here. It was your right all along. That's kind of like the first things first. One, I'm not going to take any of their money. I mean, state legislators in Texas only get paid about $7,000 a year. I can fundraise that on the side and live, a kind of Spartan existence while I'm in Austin every 2 years or so.
Right, because
couch surf if I have to.
Because they're so Texas has we elect every 2 years, but they're only in session for like 6 months.
Yeah,
and so it's
basically every odd year. It's like from January to about May.
Oh, all right. Let's see. So like constitutional carry is awesome. What about drug legalization? How far are you willing to go there?
I think that we need to try to sue for peace with drugs. Hopefully they're kind. We're on an obvious stealing money from people to dump money into this program so we can punish people for doing things that some other people don't like. It's nonsense. I think it's time we end this. I know marijuana is going to be first. It's going to be the first, but I kind of want to keep on pointing out, like, look, guys, the problem isn't just with marijuana. It's not as obvious with things like heroin and crack and, some of the other harder drugs that you could see, you're like, yeah, I probably won't want to try to meth. But, someone will look at someone who smokes weed, though, yeah, that's all right. No one really cares about the guy that's just kind of a stoner. But you look at a meth head, you go, wow, I don't really want to be that. But the problem is that if we don't make meth illegal, then the people that are going to be, we're still going to be fighting this war on drugs that's going to be ruining people's lives. And really, honestly, if we don't make meth illegal, you're probably going to have more meth heads. And leave it to the medical industry, leave it to medical professionals, and not treat this like a criminal issue where we're going to send you to jail and we're going to punish you hard and good, and then you're going to leave with a worse addiction than when you came in.
Right.
Because we can't keep drugs out of jails.
And there's this whole thing about, if you're a parent and you find out your child is, I don't even want to use the word child, but like, yeah, your 5-year-old is doing meth. No, but like your teenage child is doing meth, and you want to get them help. Who do you call? Like when it's illegal, like you call the police and they come and they arrest him, and you never see him again. Like he goes to prison for 20 years. Maybe you die while he's in prison. Maybe he gets out and like he's so fucked up from prison he doesn't want to see you. He blames you for like taking 20 years away from his life. Like it's so fucked up. Whereas if it's legal, we're not saying you should give your kids meth, but if it's legal and you find out your kids are doing meth, you can take them to rehab. There are things that you can do without risking destroying his life worse than it already is.
So, yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like that's something that really doesn't get hit on. When something's legal, if it's a problem, it's a lot easier to get help for that problem. If I've got a gambling addiction, when LeBears Dulac inundates the Houston market with "come to Louisiana to gamble" because we're dumping money into the Texas GOP to make sure the gambling's illegal in Texas. At the end of the thing, they've got, hey, you got a gambling addiction? Call this toll-free number, and we can help you with your gambling addiction. It's so much easier to get help when something's not criminalized. And that's the thing, is like, people don't understand that concept, that when you're not afraid of going to jail, you're more likely to get help for a problem. So if you do get hooked on meth, if you do get hooked on heroin or crack or something, if you're not afraid of going to jail, and the nightmare that our current American jail system is, where, it's synonymous with rape, and we like to tiptoe around that, but did you know that if you spend over 24 hours in jail at all, this is, that's the criteria. I think it's the, if you look at all the blood centers, blood banks, that's their criteria. I know they also, that's stupid that they prevent, gay males from giving blood, which I think it's stupid. But the fact is that they assume,
right?
And the fact that we're sending kids into this system, we're charging minors, 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds as adults, sending them to adult prison, and for drugs, for holding pot, for selling pot.
Right.
We're giving kids sending them to adult prisons where we know the adults are getting raped. Guess what? It's ridiculous. In my lifetime, since about the mid-90s, violent crime has dropped, and it's never gone up. I don't think there's been a year where it's been higher. Like 94, 95 is like the high watermark of American violent crime. But during that same time, non-violent, full, overflowing, and our violent crime is down. But the thing is, we're not arresting the violent criminals, because if you look at the clearance rate, you look at the clearance rate on rape kits, you look at the clearance rate on homicides, on robberies, on burglaries. The clearance rate on most American law enforcement is terrible. It's terrible. They're not catching the murderers. They're not catching the rapists.
Well,
they're not catching the burglars.
Why would
the
you
robbers,
go after those people? Those take like resources and effort. That's hard work. Whereas you can just stop any random car, and by how the driver looks, you can guess yes or no as to whether or not they have drugs in the car, and you're going to be accurate 1 out of 5. It's so much easier.
Yeah,
and if you're not,
most Americans have some sort of drugs in their car. You just stop 5 people on the street. About 3 of them are probably going to have some sort of drugs that you can bust them for, and now you get their car. Now you get to clear out their wallet, and you get their house, and you get all sorts of goodies that you can either keep or you can sell it and keep the cash. And guess what? That's a Christmas bonus for you.
So I've got a question that's showing up on the comments here from Alan Miller. He's asking, I guess because of your comment about the gambling, he's asking if you're endorsing the government-funded rehabilitation programs like they have in Louisiana.
I don't support government-funded anything. I'm saying that if you listen to like when Louisiana, and actually I mentioned of course Louisiana gambling, and I think I know the Indian reservations up in Oklahoma and some of the other surrounding states, pump money into advertising in Texas while also pumping money into the Texas GOP so that they can keep gambling in Texas illegal, casino gambling in Texas illegal. But you hear at the end there's, toll-free number for if you get a gambling addiction, you call that. I'm saying that when something's legal, it's a lot easier for people to establish services to help people with that that are maybe have a problem.
So you don't have all the cops camped out outside of the rehab center saying, "Oh, you're going to rehab. Did you bring anything with you? Can we search you?" They're hanging out outside with the drug dogs.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting point. Well, so and I want to ask you this because you seem to know a lot about the gambling laws. And when I moved to Texas, I was kind of like, I saw some billboards that were like, some I think it was like Eagle Pass Casino, and it's like a six hour drive, and I'm like, shit, I just came from Los Angeles. It was less than that to get to Las Vegas. This is Texas. You guys have the most popular poker game is named after Texas, and you can't gamble in Texas? Why is that?
So with all morality legislation and most legislation in general, there's the theory of the Baptists and the bootleggers, and this applies to most regulations and everything. There's two groups that want a regulation to happen. In Texas, the Baptists are the Southern Baptists. They don't want you gambling because it's a sin, and they need to save your soul, so they need to stop you from sinning. They need to stop you from gambling. You can't go to the casino. The bootleggers are the people that are benefiting from the regulation being in place. And so, like, when Prohibition was happening, bootleggers made money because guess what? They're willing to go get the booze no matter what. They're willing to take that risk, and they made a lot of money from that. Kennedys. So in Texas, the Baptists are the Southern Baptists. The bootleggers are all the surrounding states have some sort of glass game. New Mexico and Oklahoma have like Indian casinos. Louisiana has their casinos. They have some like Alabama Coshada and stuff like that. And they can inundate Texas's media markets. And, you go to some of the casinos in Louisiana, you're driving right across the border, you go to the parking lot, you won't find a single Louisiana plate in that parking lot. It's Texas. It's Texas, 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 Texas. You can go down the row. You can look at buses that are bringing in from Houston. You can look at buses they're bringing in from other, major metropolitan areas and other cities. They're making a killing on Texas keeping gambling illegal, and in turn they take that money to lobby all the high and mighty Southern Baptists and the other moral, crusader politicians and say, hey, guys, I know we're from the casino business, but I think y'all are doing a great job in keeping it illegal.
Wait. I gotta call bullshit. You mean someone's trying to keep gambling illegal in one state so they can profit on it in another state? I don't believe that.
The only saving grace that I can see is Fertitta would be the guy to kind of break that, because Tillman Fertitta is a rich guy. He bought the Rockets, and I think Tillman wants to do gambling. I know he owns the Gold Nugget in Lake. I'm pretty sure he wants to open one in Houston. I think that might be our saving grace. Is he might just have enough money to buy the legislature to allow gambling in Texas, legally. But you never know.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one because everyone thinks like when you think and all this kinds of like crazy fun stuff, and it's really like when you go like Las Vegas. Yeah, I'll give you it's kind of like that, but what about these casinos that they have like in Oklahoma or Louisiana? Are they like crazy full of alcoholics and prostitutes and all kinds of crazy shit going on, or is it just like people going there to have a good time and lose a few bucks?
Mostly it's go to have a fun time and lose a few bucks. I'll admit I've been to many other casinos. I'm not that big of a gambler myself. I prefer a nice little game of poker or something like that. But it's mostly just kind of older people. Mostly, you'll see like they'll have like a seniors cruise to the casino, or like a casino. They'll have a bus. And it'll be a bunch of kind of grandmas going over to play the slots. That's just
evil alcoholic grandmothers. Those are the worst.
Yeah,
they're the most
Oh, no.
evil, sinful people on this earth.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but they'll advertise like, we've got a great swimming pool at our hotel, or they'll have like entertainers. You know, I think my mom's gone to see like Ronnie Millsap at one of the casinos over in Louisiana. He was playing there, and she loves Ronnie Millsap, so she just went over with her friend and went to the casino to go watch this entertainer. You know, it's not the pit of sin that some people think it is, but even if it was, it's none of the government's business to regulate what people do with their own money, as long as they're not hurting anyone or taking their stuff.
Right. And so Henry just commented, gambling is illegal in most states, yet all those states have a legal state-run lottery. And that's like a really great point, because I don't know too many people who do this, but like supposedly like, oh yeah, gambling's illegal because what if somebody wants to gamble away their kid's college tuition, or they want to like gamble away their house and everything. Well, nothing's really stopping them from doing that on a state lottery. If you go to the state lottery and say, I'd like to buy 50,000 tickets, they're going to take your money. They're not going to say, well, are you sure that's a responsible thing to do? No, they are going to take your money.
They're not. They're not going to do that. They're going to be like, okay, let me get some more paper to put in the printer.
Right?
We'll be here for a while.
They are not even, they won't even question it and say, you know, your odds are that you're really not going to win, right? Even 50,000 tickets, you're not going to, they won't even stop and say that to you. They'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to get a bonus because I sold the most tickets this month. It's like, and that's kind of the, I kind of want to do that one day, just to like show like, this is how little they care about me. Like I would love to like walk into a place and say, well, I guess the state doesn't actually sell the tickets. They sell them through like, you know, gas stations or whatever. But if they had it, I want to see where the state gambling office is, who administers that, where the actual tickets come from. And I want to go in there with 30 grand in cash and say, look, this is my kid's college. Yeah, I'm going to say, this is my kid's college tuition, but I have a really good feeling about this. And I want to see what they say.
Powerball's coming my way.
I mean, it's because like I got to get that on hidden camera too, because like, you know what they're going to do? They're just going to be like, okay, like they're not going to try to stop me. I am
they're not
certain of that. But
yeah, like, they're not going to stop you. And it's not about responsibility. You know, it's all about a monopoly. You know, the fact is you can't even hold raffles in Texas unless you're specific groups that have specifically been chosen by the legislature to get an exemption from the law. You know,
right.
Churches can hold raffles. There.
And when
so I guess the Baptists are kind of the bootleggers
right.
at the same time at that point.
It's not a sin if Jesus does it.
Yeah.
But what's interesting here too is like, okay, so yes, there is that side of it where you have like you have someone who's profiting from a law that makes something illegal, but I think also at the same time you have okay, so just as there are voters who so somebody comes in and says, I'm going to profit by making XYZ illegal. Just as a lot of voters are going to come up and they're brainwashed now and they say, oh, yeah, we need to make it illegal because blah, blah, blah. Like, they buy that story. Some of those same voters who are now brainwashed then grow up and say, I want to run for Congress so that I can join that fight and I can keep that illegal. And they think so I think there are some people who are legitimately like fighting some moral fight because they've been kind of brainwashed by what's gone on before that.
But that's the Baptists in the equation of regulation. You know, the bootleggers are the guys this one. The Baptists are the true believers, and they believe in their cause, whatever it is. You know, and it doesn't have to be just referring to religious groups. And you know, and like when you talk about like the environmental regulations, the bootleggers in that case a lot of times are the guys that own older, you know, plants that are polluting, and the Baptists in that case are the environment and the environmental activists. And, you know, a lot of times they work in conjunction, even if they're unwitting. You know, I know if you ask, like, the environmental activists, you know, hey, would you be willing to work with old guy who owns the big coal fire, you know, power plant? They'd be like, no. But somewhere along the lines, their organization's probably getting a donation from that guy. And when they go and put and fight for these heavy regulations, he's got a lobbyist to go talk to the guy writing the bill and say, hey, you know, my guy, you need to give him an exemption from this. And, you know, here's a little something for you. And guess what? Now he's got an exemption. Now he's got, you know, or it's something, if he's subject to the regulation, it's something that he can hit. It won't really destroy his bottom line, but guess what? The new guy that's trying to build a power plant to be more efficient and undercut him, he may not meet that criteria, or he may not be able to meet that regulatory burden that the established player already has. That's how you get some, you know, corporatism. I was actually reading this book. It's by Murray Rothbard. It's the Progressive Era. It's kind of one of those posthumous, you know, published works of his that they had. He basically had a book written, just it hadn't been like put together and edited, and then someone found his manuscript and said, "Oh, hey, well, we can put this out and we can sell this." And you know, if you look at the Progressive Era, that's the model of what's happening. It's, you know, the true believers that think, you know, the workers in the meatpacking industry are being mistreated, so I'm going to go right out and I'm going to be Upton Sinclair and I'm going to write The Jungle about how the meatpacking industry workers are mistreated. And then suddenly the meatpackers are like, wait, we've been getting all these regulations from Europe that have been stopping us from selling there, but if we get the government to go in and pay to inspect our meat and certify it, and you have to do that every single time, you know, we can now beat that whole, you know, restrictionist, you know, protectionist policies that Europe's put in place, and we can just now export our meat abroad and, you know, basically have a government seal of approval. And, you know, it's these people that are well-intentioned and want to do right, maybe not knowing how to exactly do right, but then there's people that just want to make a buck, and they end up working together towards a common goal. But the problem is usually the people that want to do right, the people that have the money that are trying to make a buck, they don't have the exact same goal in mind. They don't want to make the world a better place. They want to make a buck.
Right.
And if they can convince you that they're making a buck by making the world a better place when they're not,
it
doesn't hurt them.
So that's interesting too, because I noticed this a couple years ago when I was in Texas. I started seeing, like, because everybody was like all like, oh, GMOs suck. And then I saw in an HEB, like and like this was like completely not environmentally safe, because normally you go buy a potato and it's a potato, but this was like 3 potatoes packaged in styrofoam with plastic wrap around it, which I'm like, okay, that's like more shit that's going to end up in a landfill.
Certified organic.
It said certified non-GMO. And I was like,
yeah, great for the environment, right?
but it's like, if there's a need, people are gonna fill it. And like, you know, people say like, oh, the reason we have you know, a 5-day work week and 2 weekends is because of government. But that's not even true, because that started becoming a thing before that law was even passed. And so, yep. And you know, people say like, if it wasn't for government, we wouldn't have calories written on the box, and we wouldn't know the ingredients. And it's like, no, like if people started demanding that, you've got 100 boxes of cereal that you can purchase. one box of cereal now, let's say none of them have anything, and then one box of cereal one day says, oh, we have these ingredients and this many calories and everything else, and it's certified by, I don't know, just what's that company, the consumer reviews. Consumer Reviews is doing, they're reviewing what's the calorie count and the ingredients, and there's this box, and all of a sudden you have people saying, I think I'm going to buy this cereal because at least they're telling me what's in it, and I don't know what the fuck a Fruit Loop is made out of, right? And then all of the other, everyone else is just going to have to, if they want to sell more, they're going to have to do that. So it's like, oh, but then it's like, oh no, but government forced it to do this. I guarantee you, if the FDA went away tomorrow, yes, there would be some shady people trying to sell their food that wouldn't have labels on it, and that's up to you whether or not you want to buy it, because let's be honest, apples and potatoes don't have those labels on them, right? But if you want to buy something that's in a box and it's processed food and it doesn't have that label, well, that's your call. But if it does have a label and it's from some company, it's up to you whether or not you want to trust that company. And if you don't trust it that much, well, buy a fucking apple.
and even with on the concept of mandatory labeling, I know I'm not anti-GMO personally, and whenever I hear people saying we should label GMOs, the government should make people label GMOs. One, non-GMO project exists; they can put their seal on stuff that's not GMO. It's a private organization doing that. Let them do that. And if you trust their label, you'll buy their products. If that's something that you personally want to avoid, that's up to you. But the idea of putting this contains GMOs label, it's kind of like that. Well, if we need to put it on there so that people will know, and then once it's on there, they'll say, well, why are they labeling it if it wasn't safe? If it was safe, they wouldn't have to label it, right? And it kind of reminds me, pears contain formaldehyde naturally. They do. Your body produces formaldehyde, and all these attempts to scare people saying chemicals and things. Your
dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Ban dihydrogen monoxide. Did you know that 100% of school shooters have ingested dihydrogen monoxide before they went on their rampages?
I believe it. It's all really good points, and there's, peanuts. Peanuts are all natural, but some people are allergic to them and they'll kill you. Forcing government to stick a label on there, warning, these might kill you. All that's going to do is get, most people stop buying them, but it's okay, some people are still going to, you're convincing people that aren't allergic to them not, there's all kinds of danger. The world is just a scary fucking place. We need to find out, what we can and can't do. That's just kind of part of growing up and living.
And again, even with peanuts, that's a perfect example of you don't really need to label, peanuts may kill you. I'm sure businesses would be more than happy to say, look, this has peanuts in it, and there's a lot of people with peanut allergies. If you have a peanut allergy, don't eat our products because you might die. Because if I start eating Oreos, and I start looking at the news and people start saying, man eats Oreos and suddenly dies, I'm looking at my package of Oreos, go, uh-oh, I'm going to throw it out, and I'm never going to buy that package, that brand, that product again. It's up. There's a financial market incentive for these businesses to label and to have smart labeling that actually meets real proven risks, because we live in an information age where, you can't walk down the street without hearing of something happening. I've heard of people that still don't trust Bluebell because of listeria. I do.
I was just going to say, I found Bluebell down here in Mexico.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I found that. It was they only had one or two flavors. It was the pecan, what is it? Or pistachio? No, it was pecan something.
Okay.
But yeah, fucking Bluebell, man. But yeah, it's no matter what it is. I mean, worst case scenario, if the chemicals that compose that food can't kill you, you can choke to death on it. I mean, you can choke to death on water. You can.
I can sit here and can drown.
Does that label say drowning hazard? Those labels need to say drowning hazard on them.
Yeah, no, they don't say dihydrogen monoxide has been found in every single cancer cell ever.
You know, I saw a bag of prepackaged water. You know, like you buy at the grocery stores, like in the freezers. Not water, ice. The bags of ice.
Ice,
and it said ingredients water. There's one for you. It's man. Anyway, all right. Let's
goes in ice?
I mean, it could be salt. Well, actually, I'll give you this though. There was some interesting ones that I have seen. So like Dasani water actually has like I think it was Dasani. If you look at the ingredients on Dasani, it's actually a lot more than water. Like it's salt, formaldehyde, like all this other crazy shit that like. And it's flavoring. Like people think it's so weird. Like people think like, oh, I prefer bottled water, blah blah blah, because I prefer this bottled water because it tastes better than this bottled water, and they think that means it's cleaner, but no, it actually means there's more chemicals in it. But that's another story.
I mean, the water you come out of your tap.
That stuff's delicious. Especially, like, I go to my friend's house and he's got chocolate tap water. That stuff's the greatest.
Have you been talking to James Weeks?
No, does he have
James Weeks? He lives up in Michigan. That's a
man.
Michigan German.
Yeah.
Poor taste, of course.
Yeah, it's... and that's... Yeah, people don't even know that shit's still going on. But... Anyway, all right. So I want to wrap this up, but I want to say I want to. Alan Miller says ice cream sales go up, so do when ice cream sales go up, so do drowning deaths. I guess that's probably a published statistic somewhere.
Causation and correlation are the same thing,
right? It's amazing. Whenever the population goes up, more people die. Like.
Oh, no. Did you know that if you look at the sales of organic food and the incidences of autism, being diagnosed upon the population, it almost looks the exact same.
And which is also like that's pretty much the same as the Bitcoin price looks about that direction too. It's all a conspiracy, man. I'm telling you.
It's all a conspiracy.
I gotta go get my tinfoil hat right now. All right, so I want to wrap this up, but I want to get your website out there again.
I'm on to you, government.
Yeah. I want to get your website out here again. It's ClaytonHuntLibertarian.com. Go there, donate some money, because I want to see Clayton make out with James Weeks. I think that's going to be awesome. Also, go to that website, and you can get one of those awesome T-shirts that Clayton's wearing. I don't know if you know this, but when Gary Johnson was having his debates in Texas, this picture that you're looking at on Clayton's shirt was actually going viral, and no one cared about Gary Johnson. And he also has I'm like looking at the screen of what's being broadcast right now, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a lot of like taxation and theft. Like, and then I got my mug right here too. Can you just like tilt your head down? I want to get a screenshot of this. Man, that's okay. So, anyways, go make a donation. Go buy a shirt or a hat. Tell me what the geography of your district. So if anybody's there, they can vote for you. What?
So my district is all within Harris County. It's pretty heavily gerrymandered. We kind of go up north of downtown. There's a strip through like the east side of downtown. It goes along 45 down towards like South Belt, Ellington. It covers the Gulf Gate area, Fuquay area. Oh, fun fact: in the Fuquay area, there's actually a business called Bombshells. It's kind of like that new style of like Hooters competitors where they got girls that dress kind of skimpy, and they serve that's your waitress. And our local gang is threatening them because they're calling it a haven of criminality. I think they issued a civil suit against them for $1 million and have stopped them from having a liquor license. So that's an issue that's.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about the government when you say a gang?
Yeah.
Okay. I was a little confused there.
The official gang.
Okay.
The biggest gang in the area.
Okay.
Consigliere Og, shut off their liquor license and basically put out a civil suit against them for $1 million, saying it's a haven of criminality. I've eaten there. It's not that bad.
There wasn't like a razor blade in your burger or something?
Now that you mention it, I think there might have.
It was a little bit crunchy.
Yeah.
All right. So pretty much anywhere around Houston, right?
Kind of strip through of Houston. If you're along 45 on the south side, if you are in the city of South Houston, if you're in Pasadena on kind of the western part of Pasadena, you're probably in my district. If you're in South Belt area near Ellington, you're probably in my district. It's kind of gerrymandered, and if you're in part of the Heights, you're probably in my district. It's very hard to set because there's no like geographical center. It's just a strip because they got all the Democrats in there so they can have their heavy Democrat district.
Oh man, that shit is so ridiculous. All right, man. Before we go, I just want to ask you one more question. What is taxation?
The price we pay for living in civilized society. I'm joking. It's theft.
And go to ClaytonHuntLibertarian.com, and also go to Clayton Hunt's Facebook page. Clayton Hunt is more libertarian than you. Go prove him wrong. I'll see you guys later.
You can't. I'm the most libertarian there is.
No. It's me. But you're still more libertarian than them. So that's true. You've got the beard. You have the beard. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.